Today we are going to learn about modulation. So what is modulation? It's going from one key to another. And well, there's the simplest way to modulate from C to D, and that's just directly going in. So I'm going to use the song Jesus Loves Me as an example. So then we can immediately just go to D. So just by playing that works, except that if you are playing accompaniment for people to follow, then they wouldn't know that it's going to be in D major. So you need to give them some sort of a hint. So either you tell them beforehand that you are going to modulate, but then usually you can only do that to like the song leaders. But if if there's a congregation that is singing together, then it might throw them off as well. Like for example, yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible tells me so. Then they'll start singing, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. So yeah, you can see how that is going to cause a lot of confusion. So usually what I do is I need to give them a leading note or like a hint to tell them that I'm going to modulate. So the easiest way to explain this is just to play the fifth chord of the new key that you are going to modulate in. So like for example, I'm in C. So if I want to go to D, I need to play the fifth chord. So what is the fifth chord? So if this is the first chord, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just need to play a A chord, and then I can lead into D. So for example, back in C, so why this works is because during that period where I change the key, or when I change the chord to play the fifth chord, nobody is singing, so there won't be a confusion. So I will be doing the transition there. So like for example, yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible tells me so. Jesus loves me, he who died. So that's when I can let everybody know that I'm going to transpose to the key. So that's basically, using that you can modulate to any key that you want. So like for example, it doesn't only work from C to D. It can also work if you jump like a fourth, so from C to F. Of course it will not be that obvious, but it will also work. So so it will take a bit more transition from this to that. But the easiest one, usually during worship, we're just transitioning either half a tone from C to C sharp, or from C to D, which is one tone. So if you do just as like what I showed you just now, which is from if you played the fifth chord of the new key, then you'll be able to do it. So here it is again. So C, then A, then D. Okay, give you an example. Another example, if let's say I'm going from F to G, so I want to land up in G. So to do a modulation, and I will need to play the fifth chord, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's D. Okay, so I'll play the same song. F, then D, then G. Okay, so it's still basically, if you do it this way, it will be the most basic way to transit from one key to another. I use two more ways to help to ease the transition, which is using what I mentioned last week for the sus chord, and also I use the bass to help me with that. So let me just show you what the sus chord does now. So like for example, from C to D again. So if I were to go to D, I need to play a A. because it's the fifth. But before doing the A, I will just do an A sus, which is a G on A. So it will sound like that. So you see it's a bit more smooth to go in there. One more time. Bible tells me so. So here I have the A sus, which is G on A, then A, then I go into D. Okay, so another example with the F. Okay, then I need to go to G, which means I need to play a D. So I will do a C on D, which is a D sus. So. So that is another way that I use to make the modulation a bit smoother. Other than the chord, I also use a drop in bass. So what do I do? That means I will actually, I would walk down to where I want. So for example, C again, C. So I will do a C, then a D sus, and then a D, and then a G. So, but take note of what I'm doing my bass. So. So I'm dropping from C, then A sus, then I go. Okay, let me do it again. So. Yeah, so all these are hints that you can give to your congregation that you are going to do a key change. Okay, so another example for the F. So for the F, I will, because I'm going to a D sus to a D, so I will go F, then I will do E, then a D and a D, D sus and a D. Okay, so this is just basically very easy on how you can do simple modulations, like from either a tone or a semitone modulation. And usually we are always usually only modulating upwards. So what I showed you was a tone modulation. So from D, the C to D, or F to G. Of course, we can also do the C to C sharp or F to F sharp. So just to give you an example of how it works, using the exact same thing. So I will step down to a fifth chord. So if I want to go to C sharp, this is the chord I need to go to. So I will do a sus for that chord, then I will do that. And then because from here, I will drop down to this. So it'll be like that. So. So this is how you do the modulation. I'll use this song, I've got Peace Like a River, to show you. So basically every stanza I will modulate one time using the exact same thing that I've shown over here.